Welcome to the Soul Elevated Life. Thanks for joining me today on this beautiful Friday. I was talking yesterday on my episode, and I said that, I was talking about, I had a homework assignment for you to try out, which was for you to envision that beautiful day, that perfect day in your life, and what it would look like. And I said that today we would reverse engineer into eventually what you would be doing, actions you'd be taking today, to get closer to that dream of living your soul elevated life. And we're going to put it off till Monday because it might take you a few days to complete this homework assignment. So go back, check out the other episode if you haven't yet. It has a wonderful challenge for you if you are up for the challenge. If you accept the challenge, you can do it this weekend, and then on Monday we'll go over what you do with it after you write out your perfect plan, the perfect day, and how the heck would we reverse engineer it so that you actually live that life, so you actually are on your way to living that life. And as you guys know, if you've been following me, I have been manifesting all sorts of empowerment and freedom from the energy of money. I manifested that I am a master of the energy of money. I'm the master of the energy. I am a master of my money. I'm a master of the energy of my money. And so when I had a coaching call with my coach this past Wednesday, I had all sorts of resistance and all sorts of revelations and all sorts of enlightenment about my resistance to money. And so I share with you that I bought this book called The Energy of Money. That's one book. The other book I bought was called The Soul of Money. So I'm going through this book because I promised myself that I would have a transformation and a breakthrough about money by the time I have my next call, which is Tuesday, with my coach. And one of the activities in the book was extra credit work. And since I'm a straight A student, of course I do extra credit work. Just like you as my client, I manifest that you take massive action for massive transformation. So I know you're the kind of person that does extra credit too, because you are like me in that regard, because I manifested it. I spoke it out into existence. I declared it out, and so it is. And one of this activity that they asked me to do, I really liked. It was kind of like incorporating some of my daily manifestations, except we put it in a different type of setting, and it was really powerful. So it talks a lot about your standards of integrity, and it said that the way you have your relationship with money also correlates with the way you live your life. If you get very stressed out about money, and money is very stressful, then you may live a very stressful life. If you don't have a lot of integrity about money, like I did, like I would avoid money. I would avoid talking about money. Talking about money made me very uncomfortable. I knew I needed it and I valued it, but I did not track it. I did not want to talk about it. It was a very taboo subject for me. I associated a lot of negativity and heartache and torn relationships and sadness and grief and all sorts of junk around the energy of money. And so many aspects of my life were not in integrity. And I would feel okay with, I would kind of rationalize to myself about like how something I did was okay because, it paralleled very much to my relationship with money. There was the avoidance of confrontation. There was, everything is fine. There was some denial. There was sweeping things under the rug, and there were making a lot of excuses. I did not own the energy of money, and so there are aspects of my life that I did not own, including living a soul elevated life, including finding a job, a career that gives me deep fulfillment, including working with the utmost form of integrity at work, like really putting my all into it versus just coasting, many things like that. But one of the activities that I really enjoyed doing was I was going to share with you. And she mentioned that whenever we do stuff in relationship with money, when we don't operate from a position of the posture of integrity, then it's kind of like an energy leak because it's using up a lot of your energy. And I was like, oh, I never thought of it that way. So she asked me to do this really cool activity, and she said, okay, on a sheet of paper, a blank sheet of paper, list all the people that you admire and their characteristics about these people that you admire. So on your piece of paper on the left side, write down all the characteristics, write down all the names of the people that you admire. So I wrote stuff down like my mom, my dad, my sister, my coach, Oprah, Katy Perry, Pat Monahan, who is the he's the lead singer for a band named Train. I wrote down Will Smith. I wrote down all the people that I admire, and then like Helen Keller and stuff like that. And then they said, okay, once you write down all their names, like your teachers and sports figures, religious teachers, ministers, priests, friends from school, homework, social clubs, people in the healing professions, world leaders, spiritual, political, people in the arts and entertainment industry, actors, directors, singers, dancers, artists, musicians, composers, biblical figures, mythological characters, anyone you've ever read about, real or fictional. It didn't even have to be real. And then on the right side of your paper, you start listing out characteristics about these people that you admired. And if there was a characteristic that you've already mentioned, you can just put a check mark next to that characteristic, so you wouldn't have to write that characteristic down. So once you did that, you would have a list of all these adjectives that describe all these people that you really admire. And she said, here's the very, very interesting part. Those people that you admire and those traits that you listed about them, they're actually traits that you also have within you. Because for you to recognize those traits, you need to have a receptor in your heart for those traits. I was like, oh, this is getting very serious. It's getting very serious, right? And so I wrote down a lot of stuff like, so she says like, okay, so once you come up with that list and you look at those lists, she wants you to go by one for each of those words and say them one at a time, and then be with it and kind of see how you feel about it. See if it resonates with you, if it warms your heart, if it pulls at if it tugs at your heartstrings, if there's something like pulled about you, like it's something that you would like to be. And it's funny because we're really good. It's very easy for us to point out all the negative things about us. Like, you heard the saying, the world is a mirror for you. So when you see something in someone that really annoys you or triggers you, then it's usually a characteristic that you have or possess within yourself. And any advice you'd give to that person would be advice that you take for yourself. And so it's easier for us to actually recognize those characteristics, see those annoying behaviors and traits about people, and then realize that we also possess it for ourselves. But when it comes to the reverse, which is to look at the things that you truly admire in people, to say that you have them within you too, like that is like, like if you say someone's beautiful, or you say someone's attractive, or someone is like talented or skilled, to say that about yourself, it's like, I can't say that. I don't believe that about myself. No, I don't have that. And so she says, okay, you can think of your heart area as a little lantern that lights up when it encounters certain traits. If that warmth, lit, light, or sense of well-being is present, write that word on a new piece of paper. So pretty much all those words I described those people were the words that I wanted to be for myself as well. It did light something within me. And she goes, okay, so once you have written down all those words, here's the homework. Here's the extra credit you can do. Spend a week consciously trying to demonstrate your standards of integrity and make notes about your experience. Note specific cases where you actually do show those qualities or attributes. How do you feel at those times? What is your experience of yourself? Pay close attention to those inner messages. So this reminded me a lot of like the daily manifestations I did. and I listed all the qualities that I am, and then I would live and act into being those words. But what I did not try out was to actually look at all the people I truly admired in my life, listed out their characteristics, and then see for myself if they exist within me or if someone I would like to be. And I learned something really incredible, really, really neat about myself. I have this thing about not cheating. Like, I can't, like if I were to, let's say I go into Central Market, right? And it's an honor system. You go in there, you punch in the number, and you there's a code for each vegetable or fruit or something, and then you punch in the number, you weigh it, and then you print out a sticker and you put it on your bag, and that's what they scan when you pay for it. Well, there's the organic line and the unorganic line. And one time I tried putting in the unorganic number because it was a cheaper per pound rate. And I felt horrible, like, and I swore, like, all these bad things happening to me because I kept focusing on how guilty I felt. And so I realized, like, that just didn't serve me. That kind of behavior just did not serve me. It didn't sit well with me, and I was not going to do it anymore because I was not about to incur all this extra karma that I didn't really care for. I wasn't about to, like, lose my streak of luck and blessings because, like, I felt like I was a very lucky and blessed person, and, you know, like, everything always worked in my favor and everything always fell into place. And so I noticed that when I changed the price on an item, that it was, my streak of good luck was gone. Like, all these bad stuff started happening. I probably, like, scraped my car, ran a red light, got a ticket, like, a whole bunch of stuff. And then I realized, okay, this is definitely not for me. And so it makes a lot of sense that she said, hey, where in your life are you not having integrity with money or something? Because that is an energy leak. And so I was like, oh, that's pretty scary. But she asked, like, you know, when we make excuses or we think about, like, we can say, oh, like, everybody does this. Everybody pays people under the table. Everyone cheats a little bit and all this stuff. Then you're not really operating from a place of what you know in your heart resonates with you. You're operating from a place of fear and rationalization, and that simply doesn't serve us. And when you compromise your standards, then it detracts from you. It really does. Like, I realized that it did for me. And so the homework assignment was, I won't get into the other stuff because that's a little bit more complicated, but the homework for me was for me to write out all these characteristics. It's called My Standards of Integrity. And so you write all the standards of integrity on a 3x5 card. And you write down all the characteristics that you admire in people that resonate with you, and these are the characteristics you'd like to see in yourself. And so then I put an asterisk I put dots next to the things that I didn't do. Like people I admired, in addition to, like, Oprah and Helen Keller and my coach and stuff, I also wrote, like, Katy Perry and Pat Monahan, the lead singer of the band Train. And, you know, when you go to a concert that is run by the band Train, Pat Monahan, when he performs, he sings from, like, the depths of his soul. Like, you can feel him sing from every aspect of his being. Like, you can feel it down to your core. And I used to go to a lot of the Train concerts whenever they had some. And the music was always super loud, and no one could hear you, you know. So I would sing, like, I would sing at the concerts from, like, the depths of my soul with all my heart, and just put all my all into it, because I could just feel, like, how much I loved the music and how much Pat loved the music and how much he sang from his every inch, every centimeter, every millimeter of his body, mind, and soul. He, like, put his all into it, and I just loved it. Like, I felt it, and it just gave me goosebumps. And that's how I would try to sing too. I would just sing from the depths of my soul and really feel into the song and really, really feel it. And I realized that I stopped going to concerts and I stopped singing that way. And so she said, okay, if there are things on your list that you aren't doing anymore, or they're areas that you suppress, then clean it up. And so I said to myself that I would start singing again. And I would sing from my soul. I would sing from the depths of my soul. And I was like, well, it would be very... And then another stuff I wrote down was, are you courageous? Are you brave? Are you eloquent? You know, meaning, do I speak well with my words? Am I fully expressed? Like, I like Katy Perry because she's very self-expressed. Are you moral? Do you have a great moral compass? Are you quirky? I think I'm pretty quirky. And I like... who did I write down? I wrote somewhere someone dances. I enjoy like how they dance. I don't have any dancing skills, but when Ever and I, we took lessons for our wedding. We danced to the song Sunday Morning by Maroon 5. And it's a very catchy, jazzy song. So we did like some swing dancing and a little bit of, what was it? Was it kind of like a box waltz or something? I forgot what our instructor said. But I really enjoyed it. I really loved it. And I just went with it. Like you fall into like a sense of flow, and it's just something very beautiful about dancing. And when you really feel into it, and you're just into it, and you just relax and just follow the lead of your partner, and you just flow with the music, you feel it, and there's something really beautiful about it. And it was so fun. I was like, I need to get back to dancing. I need to get back to singing from my heart. You know, I talked about how I admired Oprah, and I felt like she's very soulful and heart-centered. And I put marks next to them, like, ask myself, are you soulful? Are you heart-centered? Are you a badass? Are you resilient? Are you a powerhouse? And so these are things that I was going to work on. These are the things I was going to clean up. I was going to stop suppressing. Like the last few years, I was so focused on developing myself. I was so focused on listening to audiobooks on the way to work. I was so focused on learning the next thing and just filling myself up with knowledge. And I didn't always take action with the knowledge that I picked up. I was just a lot about consuming a lot of content and a lot of personal developments and skills and, knowledge and stuff. And so I didn't listen to music as much. And so the other few days I was like playing some train music from old music. One of their first albums is called My Private Nation. And one of my favorite songs is Alive. And one of the songs is Get to Me. And so I was quoting some of the lyrics a few days ago when I said that I have a coaching practice and I would love for you to contact me if you would like to work with me. And I said, I don't care how you get to me, just get to me. And the song is so like wonderful, and I haven't really practiced it to sing it or anything. But I was thinking, Juwan, you'd be very courageous and brave if you sang a few lines from that song. And be even more amazing if you sang it from your soul, from your body, your soul. You were courageous and you were heart-centered, and you sang from your soul, and you really just belted it out without regard to what people would think, right? Whether you could really sing or not. Sometimes I kind of wonder, like when someone sings, maybe they're not that great of a singer, but the fact that they sang from the very depths of their soul, you would get goosebumps because of the way they were singing, and you could feel like how they were feeling. You can feel the energy and the vibration, the vibe that they were totally pushing out. And it wasn't even necessarily, I'm sure it is, because if you love singing that much, you're probably really good. But it might not even be about how well they sing. It might be the energy that they exerted. It might be the vibe they sent out. Maybe how they felt about the song, and what a badass they are for singing it. So so maybe I'll work it into my spiel today. So that's my assignment to you. List out the names of all the people you admire, because this is going to help your relationship with money. And of course, as I go through this book and I finish, I'll share all my bits of knowledge so that you too can benefit from my transformation and my breakthroughs with the energy of money. But here's my assignment to you. So on a sheet of paper, list out all the people you admire, and then that's one column. And then the other column, write down the characteristics about them that you admire. And then the ones that are written down, like you keep repeating, like just put check marks next to them. You don't have to keep rewriting the same word. And then go through each of those words one at a time and see and feel each word into it and see if it resonates with you. See if it's a characteristic that you would like to be. And you might not even believe that you possess those characteristics, but I'm a believer that you can totally manifest it. So if it's a characteristic you would like to be and it's something that's really scary and audacious, then write it down and then start thinking like what ways can you be? How can you step into being that characteristic that you wrote down? You start living it, you start becoming it, you start breathing it, it's becoming a part of you. You're totally manifesting it into existence. You're changing the very person that you are, right? Which is pretty amazing. So as you know, I am the creator of Soul Elevated Life coaching practice, and I coach for a living. So if you are looking to have some transformation in your life, you are looking for, sometimes it's not even about the money. Yeah, the money is nice, right? The money is good, but sometimes it starts with the really basic stuff, like having a really deep, meaningful relationship with your spouse or your mom or your sister or dad or a loved one or your kid or your son or daughter or whoever's important to you. Sometimes it's about having deep, powerful conversations every day. Like I was really tired of having really surface conversations. And so I wrote out every day that I would have deep, powerful conversations. And so I just jumped right in. Whenever people asked me how things were going, or if they had questions, I would jump right into a deep, powerful conversation. And then it became the norm. People would come talk to me about and have deep, powerful conversations every day because that was the vibe I sent out, and that is what I manifested, and that was the frequency from which I operated. If you are looking for clarity on your life purpose, you're looking for clarity on your soul's purpose. What did you come here to do? If you feel unfulfilled, you feel like there's this emptiness, this meaningless, this sadness, this hunger, this emptiness, and you can't quite put your finger on it. You get a lot of distraction about your excuses, the things you have to do versus the things that you would like to do. That's where a coach can come in. That's where a coach can really help you take the steps and ask the questions, point out your blind spots, help you dig into your subconscious limiting beliefs that don't serve you any longer. And that's how you truly find clarity on your life. And if you are looking to transform any other area of your life, your fitness, your health, your physical body, your mindset, your whatever, it all starts with you. And sometimes you don't even know where to start. You just know that you're frustrated, you've had enough, but you have no idea how to access all the information. That's where I come in. That's what I do for a living. I help people live their soul elevated life. When we are not operating from our soul's alignment is when we feel off and we feel lost, we feel empty, we feel out of balance, we feel the stuff is not digesting, it's not flowing freely, it's not the way it's supposed to be, and you know something is really off. That's when you start getting your awakening. When you hire a coach, you wake up. Sometimes you have spiritual awakenings, sometimes you go to your religious community, your religious affiliation, your religious structure that you have in place. Maybe it's a church, maybe it's a synagogue, maybe it's a temple, maybe it's a meditation center, maybe it's meeting with your friends on a regular basis where you really lift up your soul. Maybe it's going to conferences and expos that really resonate with you. Maybe it's listening and reading really powerful stuff that really uplifts your soul. But a coach helps you with a lot of these areas, and having a coach is so powerful. For me, having a coach really woke me up and helped me remember what I came here to do, and she really helped me get a lot of clarity on my life purpose. And I finally started operating from my soul alignment again. I started feeling alive again. I started feeling fulfilled. I started going big. I started taking risks. I started truly living. So if you're ready to come alive, you're ready to live, you are so tired of not living, you're so tired of being dead inside, it is time for you to wake up. It's time for you to reach out to me. It's time for you to live your soul elevated life. It's time for you to get to me. I don't care how you get to me, just get to me. What else does it say? What does he say? What does he say? I'm having a brain block on this, about this song. I love this song. It's called Get To Me. He goes, let's see, take a sharp right at the next street light. What does he say? Catch a ride on your motorbike. I don't care how you get to me, just get to me. I'll memorize the song and I'll sing it to you because I said I would. But that is my first scary attempt at singing a song that I absolutely adore by Train. And so I don't care how you get to me. Catch a ride on the back of a butterfly because that's the best way to fly. Catch a what does he say? A moped, crowped, catch a limousine instead. If you get caught in the traffic jam, that's fine. Send yourself through a telephone line. I don't care how you get to me, just get to me. So contact me, reach out to me, smoke signals, whatever. And I will hear you. I will hear your call. I will hear your message, and we can work together so that you can live your soul elevated life. It's time for you to have some massive transformation in your life. It's time. It really is time. If you're watching this video, it's no accident. There are no accidents on this, in this dimension, in this realm, in this realm that we live in. And everything happens for a purpose. It's no accident you're seeing this video. And so if you feel called, in your heart of hearts, in the depths of your soul, it's time for you to shift. It's time for a transformation. It's time for you to set that compass. It is time for you to live your soul elevated life. It's time for you to wake up. It's time for you to awaken. I'm here for you. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help you live your soul elevated life. I'll see you tomorrow.